618. Today's free legal advice day. Attorney Dave Betras hanging out, answering your legal questions free of charge. Did you have a good weekend?
I'm still not over my depression of the Browns losing at home.
Yeah, well, that was...
And not only losing,
but losing bad.
in a spectacular fashion. Losing Brown style.
Exactly. We should expect nothing less of this.
Okay, and the Steeler fans out there, they're of course happy. They pulled the upset, so typical. Will I ever in my life, before I die, have a Super Bowl from the Browns?
If not, have them be your pallbearers. They can let you down one more time.
Yeah, they can let me down. Very good. Well, we're live and local.
We are.
Locked and loaded. We're taking calls,
We
right?
are, yeah. Call in live. The number will be at the bottom of your screen here shortly. We got an email, by the way, after the segment Friday when you talked about the father of the school shooter in Georgia facing charges. They simply asked, what kind of advice do you have for gun owners in terms of keeping your guns under lock and key, I guess?
Well, keeping your guns under lock and key and making sure, or trigger locks, you know, or safe. I never owned a weapon until my son went into the Army, and now I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse. He keeps buying weapons when he comes home. My son loves guns.
All right.
I don't know how to use any of them. I have a .357, and I'm going to fire 2 shots. My son goes, you got to get in a shootout with them, Dad. I go, son, if I shoot 2 shots at someone in my house and they're still coming after me, God bless them, they're dead because they got more guts than I do. I'm not going to hide behind a door and try to get in a shootout with them like you are. I'm not trained to do that.
Yes.
Okay?
There you go.
There you go. So get a safe, and don't let them have access to it.
All right.
Now, a lot of and I'm a gun owner. So teach responsible, you know, supervise your children if you're taking them out shooting, but don't leave them where the children know they are.
Yeah.
And they're going to, you know, some of these, I've had some of these cases, Steve, where 7 and 8 and 9-year-old boys, they bought a toy gun. Their parents gave them a thing. It didn't even look like a real gun. It was a toy gun. Took it to school. He was expelled. That's how serious schools are about this now. So even toy guns, don't let your children take it for show and tell or anything like that. I mean, these schools have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to even toy guns. My poor little 8-year-old boy took a toy gun to school and he got suspended, and I prevented him from getting expelled. But that's how serious it was. I had another case where a son was hunting with his father, had the hunting rifle in the trunk, in his car, on school property, permanently expelled. Wow. That's how serious these schools are taking this.
Yeah, well, with good reason after what we saw in Georgia, too. This one came from email. It said, my daughter was supposed to get $40,000 when she turned 23 from her mother's estate, but the uncle actually had control of the money, never saved it for her. She ended up suing her and her brother instead. Is there anything they can do about it if the uncle apparently took it and ran?
Well, it sounds like a trust was set up, and the 3 of them were in charge of the trust. They were trustees. So there's not much they could do. They have fiduciary duty. They got to find that uncle. If they weren't actively involved in the theft, they're probably going to not be held responsible. But if they didn't inquire or fiduciary duty, let me tell people what that means. You have a heightened duty. So if I'm a fiduciary with you, I got to watch what you're doing. Like, hey, that money you're in charge of, where is it? What's it doing? You just can't turn a blind eye to it. You got to have a stepped up responsibility for someone else's money.
All right. We have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead with your question for Attorney Betras.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I was asking about the lemon law for vehicles. I purchased the car. It's a 2022 Honda CR-V, and I've had it. I have a sound in my car. It started about 6 months ago. I've had it to the dealership 3 times.
Well, caller, before you go on, did you buy that car new?
And then they've had it for 7 hours.
Did you buy that car new?
Brand new. Yeah,
brand
new.
Spanking new. Okay, so did you buy it in 2020?
They've had it a total of 21 hours looking for this.
I understand that.
I'm sorry?
I'm just trying to cut to the chase so I can give you some parameters. Have you had it longer than 18 months? Hello?
Yes.
You've had it longer than 18 months. Now, the problem that developed...
2022.
Okay, I heard you.
2022?
Yeah. Have you had it longer than 18 months? The answer is yes. Was this problem prevalent before the 18 months hit? It's not a hard question. Did you have this problem
No.
before the 18? I don't think the lemon law is going to apply to you. Now, what you can do, a lot of these car companies have consumer and quality control people. You just got to be the squeaky wheel, and you got to oil it and keep squeaking and keep working up the ladder for them to fix that. But as far as the lemon law goes, there's certain prerequisites for your car to be determined to lemon law, and I think you're out of time for that. Okay? All right, we have a caller from, the producer gave me something.
Yeah, I think we're out of time for this segment, though, so we could talk about that
Oh, my
one.
God, we have so much tomorrow to go. But I'll be taking your calls off the air.
Yes, yeah, so
Call
call
me off the air. 330-744-8821, right?
He knows it by heart.
I know.
Right. All right,
There we
keep
go.
it here. Farmers Trust Financial Reports coming up after the break. Welcome back to 642. Attorney Dave Betras is here once again. Free legal advice on WFMJ today. We got a lot of questions lined up.
Yeah,
You ready
and
to do this?
I promised
We're
the
gonna
producer.
start with this one, yep.
Now look at this. I was always losing my readers. Found these on Amazon. Never lose my readers again. How about that?
There we go.
Okay, so their car was fixed badly. Is there any legal recourse to have it fixed? The answer is yes, absolutely. Let me tell you something about car repair shops. They got to give you a written estimate. If they go over, now I haven't looked at it in a while, but if they don't stick within a certain dollar amount of that written estimate, they're violating the Consumer Sales Practices Act, and you don't have to pay it. Now, you could give it back to them and say, fix it, and if they don't, you could take it to another shop, have them fix it, and then sue that place for the difference.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
This one came from email. It says that my employment was terminated 4 months after an injury, still not released to go back to work by BWC doctor. Do I have any recourse? And you can tell this person watches, they said. And yes, David, I know Ohio is an at-will state.
They can't fire you for a Bureau of Workers' Comp claim. They can't do that. So that's another exception. See, we have I know, because I tell people this.
I know.
We're an at-will claim, but they can't fire you for having to pay child support. They can't fire you for military duty. They can't fire you because you're a woman. They can't fire you because of your ethnicity. They can't fire you because you get called for jury duty. And they can't fire you because you filed a workers' comp claim.
There you go. This
you
one
go.
was from Facebook. Said 4 old oak trees slammed into my last apartment building on Wick Park. Who is liable for the damages?
Well, did they say an apartment
building, yep.
Yeah, the owner of the apartment building is, because that's called an act of God. So where the trees fell, that's not responsible, but the owner of the building should have homeowner's insurance and come in and take care of all that. Now, if it damaged some stuff on the inside, I tell renters this all the time. If you're a renter out there, you can buy renter's insurance to take care of your stuff on the inside. It's probably not going to be covered because, once again, it's an act of God.
All right. This one was from a caller who chose not to be on the air this morning. Said they've been involved in a property dispute and are still suing the person who did the property survey. The case went to the Ohio Supreme Court. They kicked it back to a lower court. The caller said they were unsure of what the next step may be. She's trying to sue the surveyor because the person lost his property dispute because he claims the surveyor did the job.
Well, if the Supreme Court sent it back, then I'm assuming this person had a lawyer. So go to the lawyer because he's most familiar with that case. But I'd have to read what the Supreme Court sent it back about. Very unusual that a case can get into the Ohio Supreme Court, so good for them. And good for them that the Supreme Court turned it back, meaning I don't know if they won or they lost, but they sent it back for the trial court to do something.
All right. This one came from email. Says their father passed away. His house went up for sale. The brother and this person received a check for what was left, about $12,000. So how do we set up an estate for a nominal check like that? They said the goal is to just get it cashed.
So if they got a check in their names, they're good. If they got a check in the estate names, you could set up a limited estate and process it through there. And
then just cash it from that?
Yeah, you'd have to set up what they call an abbreviated estate. I'm not sure of that. I don't do too much probate work. But there's a way if it's less than $25,000, you could set up a fast estate, and then you can get it through. But if they put the check in their names, then they can cash the check.
All right. Before we go, do you want to show this off? We have a local artist.
I don't know if you can
Dan
zoom in on
Scoville,
that,
who,
but I don't know if it's showing up too good, but someone actually did this caricature of me, and Steve sent it to me. It's called The Goat, the giver of all...
Of amazing treats.
Of amazing treats. I'm going to get this framed. I want to know who did this. I want to send him a check for his work. I'm going to get this framed and put it up in my office because it's probably the best caricature of my face really isn't that skinny, is it?
You look great, Dave.
I look great. Thank you.
All right, thank you much.
All right, and
as
I'll see you
always.
Friday.
All right, we'll be here.
Twice in 1 week, a 2 for week.
I know. That means 2 bagels for me.
Yeah.
Well, coming